A natural way to stay ready, baby. 'Cause I'm ready for you, Mr. C.
The ultimate male supplement, men's total wellness formula, packed with essential nutrients for men's health.
She'll call you Mr. C.
One love, Delta 9 travelers. Welcome in. Welcome into the International Digital Connection. Now, if you could hear me, and you can hear me clearly, Delta 9 travelers, please and thank you. Drop a 9. Drop a 9 into the comment section for me if I'm coming through and I'm coming through clearly. Big up to all the travelers in the chat right now. Edmond, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for being a part of the live from the early boarding section. Thanks for tuning in to the live. Hi Sen, thanks for being a part of the live. I see Parsons International already. Desiree, thanks for being a part of the live all the way from Canada. Thanks for tuning in to this live presentation. We got so many headlines. I'm telling you that we're going to catch up one another with. I don't know how many we're going to get into on this live, but as many as connect, as many as we can correlate, we're going to make sure that we get them in on this presentation. Big up the frequent travelers that are a part of the live from now. Paulette, thanks for tuning in. Desiree saying we coming through loud and clear. I see Edmond dropping the 9s into the comment section. Big up to Hysen, one of our frequent travelers, and definitely dropping the 9s into the comment section. Edmond is saying good afternoon and happy Wednesday to Delta 9 and all the others on the flight. Thumbs up the live. Big up yourself to all the travelers. Marika, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in, Marika. Marika was one of the first travelers on the flight today. Big up yourself. Thanks for being a part of this presentation. I see persons are already shouting out the other travelers that are on the live right now. Listen, we got so many headlines to touch bases on. Let's start to jump into some of these very important, very trending headlines. Very important and very trending, international and local. It's a Wisdom Wednesdays, so we're going to be taking the flight to a different altitude as well. You know, usually on Wisdom Wednesdays through Thursdays, we take the flight to a different altitude and get into some elevated conversations, right? So we're going to jump into this live with getting into some of these headlines right now on the ground before we jump into some international headlines. Well, listen, right now, they got this situation that is local and is international at the same time. And that's a nice place for us to start this live presentation right now, because I don't know how many persons are aware of what's going on, but this is the situation on the ground right now, Delta 9 travelers.
Well taken. Assembly here at Villeneuve, just outside the Paris Kelly at the 32 Minibus Park, Villeneuve to Parica. We are on a strike as a result of what the minister went up viral on air and say that there is no increase in minibus fare. What I'm saying is that minibus fare has been increased since 2018, and we were being promised that the fare would go up every year by $20. From 2018 to now, we have not received any information from the Ministry of Business, Public Works, or the government. And the operators are now saying that they cannot operate with a fare that has been for so many years, and they're calling on the government to intervene.
So is there any fare at mine right now I would like to call?
Yes, I have submitted a proposed fare that is justifiable to all the operators.
Anybody you care to share that with the public?
Well, we're going to hear from some of the persons in the public that is complaining as well. Listen, this situation is one of many. Because what's going on the ground really, man? We're hearing the truck drivers demonstrating, right? We're seeing the situations that just recently went down with Indo brothers from all the way from India come to Guyana looking for work, looking for a betterment. Look how this situation turn out. Now the bus drivers is striking. And we hearing this conversation about the oil shortage. All over the globe, persons are impacted by what's going on. But yet still, we got to wait for international bodies, right, to hint to we parliament like, hey, y'all think it's time that y'all should have a sitting on this? You think it's time that parliament should convene and have some real meaningful conversation on what's going on with the oil crisis, the present conflict that's going on in the Strait of Hormuz and how it's affecting international and local situations. We're going to show you what's going on in Kenya because this situation went from 0 to more than 100 really, really quick. Persons even transcended because of this situation, right? There's persons that met their demise because of this oil shortage and a lot of protesting and stuff like that that's going on in Africa. We're going to get into some of the, well, let me hear some more about what's going on the ground right now. Big up to all the travelers who's in the live from early. I'm telling you, the oil crisis globally is causing strikes on the ground. But what's going on with Parliament? What's going on the ground?
Yes.
How much will that be?
The fare would be from here to the Kendron 200.
Yes.
From here to Tushin 300. Tushin to Bursi, Ruby
Yeah.
300 and Purika 400.
Okay.
That is what.
And from Freedom to Puerto Rico now?
Freedom to Purika is 400. It was 320. So we're proposing 400.
Okay. So let's have a word now. So is that okay for you?
Okay, that okay.
What about you guys?
Okay,
Come on, speak up here, speak up one time, man. You can work with that. So guys, this is the minibus drivers at the Noob Stallion, and you're asking for a raise on their fare so they could go, you know what I mean, continue with the gas and the high. Well, I just heard about 2,000 have a plug of wheel, which I'm not sure, I know.
There's a lot going on the ground, you know, and persons were highlighting certain situations to the minister. Yeah, persons were raising the issue and highlighting certain hurdles that they're facing with the minister. You know, on Delta 9 Media, we're going to make sure we analyze many aspects of what is taking place so we could suss out the situation and get a good footing on what's really taking place. Maybe here right now.
The bus, the car, or the taxi?
I just to have a video and a picture where he harassed me for one party. Jump out of us and tell me you go to give me his number. I have the video and the picture.
Well, the police will take your information.
My name is Dr. Perry. I got one rest of at the police station, and I got one footage video on that. Is demanding more money from me to come out bill. And the family are chopping me on the bus.
From where to where?
From the park is now the police station.
I said, oh, if you see minister now, you decided the price. Say you business can't get you cheaper. I said, okay, I'm going to the office because I was supposed to come since last week to your office, but then I had no time. I gave him the money. And the thing about it, they're overloading the bus by putting 4 in a seat. And still you have to pay the $300. I said to him, I said all good things will come to an end. Trying to say, he focused. I said, all right. I said, I'm going to smell the car. And when I start, he tried to tell me I was coming because I said, well, drop me to the nearest police station. So after I told him to drop me to the nearest police station, stop talking. He said nothing. So I pushed him on the darling jack. I tell me, if you can't pay money, buy a bicycle. So that is what you're going
I'd
through.
like citizens to know that if that is happening, report the boat, the bus, the car, or the taxi service. And we as the regulators will address that.
I'm telling you, serious times on the ground, you know, as we analyze the hurdles that persons gotta face because of the prices, and persons are saying, listen, we gotta charge a bit more, but We hearing coming right there from the minister that, listen, we didn't officiate none of these changes in the fare. So the protocol is going to be something different. But guess what? The drivers is listening to what's going on and what's being presented on their behalf, and they're coming out. And there's a strike. Persons are saying, we ain't taking that like that, man. We can't take it like this. The matching. And it's not a local situation, you know, it's global. Because we're going to jump into some of these similar headlines that is rocking Kenya right now, right? But let me hear a little bit from VPAC and the Honorable Mr. Best that was on the ground having a conversation with some of the persons affected.
With the government, because if the government is able to control their prices, there got to be some kind of agreement.
What is the value proposition? What are they getting in exchange? Are they getting fuel and lubricants at a concessional price? Are they getting spare parts? And I'm not hearing any of this.
Or is it fancy paperwork?
I don't know. There's something deeper to this story, right? Yeah. There's something deeper to this story. So
Kenya imports most of its fuel from Gulf nations, and its supplies are being choked by the Iran war. People took to the streets in protest on Monday. Demonstrators blocked roads and prevented motorists from passing. Police fired tear gas. Several people were killed in the unrest. Their deaths are being investigated. Kenya's Human Rights Commission has expressed concern over allegations of excessive and lethal police force against violent protesters. As calm and traffic return to the streets, Kenyans are hoping their government can ease the pain of soaring fuel costs.
Our correspondent Felix Moringa is on the ground for us in Kenya's capital, Nairobi. Felix, what's the mood there today? Are you seeing people still on the streets protesting?
Well, the mood is quite relaxed today because life is slowly coming. Behind me would be a buzz with activity at this time of the day as people come from work, as buses crowd into the central busiest district. But if you can see, just the street behind me is as empty as it can get, with just a few commuters walking, some of them coming from workplaces, just a number of buses at the bus stop, and things have not come back to normalcy. On this other side, the shops which would be open at this time of the day are still closed. They were closed for the better part of Monday and the better part of today. So life has not yet resumed to normalcy because when this afternoon the government officials and the transport stakeholders called off the strike, it was too late for anything significant to move. So life has not yet resumed to normalcy, but as much as people are not physically in the streets protesting at this time of the day, the frustration is still very heavy within the hearts of Kenyans.
Talk to us more about that frustration, because the protests in Kenya, Felix, started in response to rising fuel prices brought on by the war in Iran. Tell us more about how Kenyans are coping with the rise in the cost of living, the hike in prices.
Kenyans are barely coping because survival has become difficult for basic household commodities. People are not able to put food on their table. Things like vegetables have become expensive. People have even been making jokes about the cost of tomatoes, that if you can afford tomatoes in the country, then you're doing well. And that just speaks to the scope at which people have been trying to survive. The government has been trying to do a few things, and people do not still feel like there's anything that is moving. survival is difficult. People are having to cut down on their everyday expenses. Some people are having to cut down on the expenditure in their households just to keep going. Other people are having to walk to their workplaces instead of using bus transport so that they can be able to save a few coins. And many of them,
Telling you, a situation that is gripping different parts of the globe and causing a situation like none other that we would have experienced in recent time, right? Big up to all the frequent travelers in the live right now, because as we analyze these things, we gotta ask ourselves, how come until now we're not hearing about a convening in Parliament to discuss an obvious problem, an in-your-face problem, but we're hearing things like this.
As of now, there is no increase in fares. And no Guyanese citizen, no tourist, no child, no worker, or anyone is forced to pay. And no bus driver, operator, taxi, or hire car has the power to put you out if you refuse to pay. And the excuse just can be, I pay more at the gas station, or I pay more for the spare part, or I pay more for the tire, which in many cases, if we trace it, prices have gone down in some items. Well, yes, there are some increases in fuel.
Prices gone down on some items. Which one of these items is it really that the price sort of went down on? We gotta call a spade in this situation. It seems as if some people are right, to hell with whoever gotta feel the squeeze, it seems. Because as we could see, our brothers is out and about and they're protesting a matter that is affecting people not just in Guyana. So you can't just say, oh, they're greedy, they want more money, this, that, and the third. We could see that there's a problem that is gripping different parts of the globe and gripping it in a real way. Persons would have lost their life in Kenya, Persons lost their life in Kenya for a protest that was started by the regular people in the street running the cabs and different situations that can't survive, right? Chandel, thanks for being a part of the live. Chandel is saying good evening to all the frequent travelers viewing all the way from St. Lucia. Big up yourself, Chandel, and big up to everybody in St. Lucia, everybody watching us all the way from the Caribbean as we bring forward these very important, very trending headlines right now, analyzing some of the situations going on with the bus operators, taxi drivers, and other persons that got a deal with this hike in the prices that is causing a whole lot of problems on the road. We just heard the minister highlighting to persons that, hey, we say it, so you don't have to pay it. We didn't say it, so you don't have to pay it. But persons are saying, man, how we supposed to survive with these prices the way that they are, right? Big up yourself, Paulette. Thanks for dropping nines into the comment section. Definitely among those that support Delta 9 Media. Thanks for tuning in. All the frequent travelers right now that are a part of the live. Aubrey is saying he's watching all the way from Canada. Big up yourself, Aubrey. Victor, good night to Delta 9 and all the viewers. Very soon, that will be happening in Guyana. Well, we hope that the situation don't reach to them levels there to where there's big protests in the street and big talalale and people losing their life and them things. Man, we ain't glad for them things at all. We're glad to see a progressive nation. We're glad to see a nation that is able to weather this storm and come out stronger, more united, and a real force to reckon with, you understand, in the global affairs that is going on right now. A lot of situations that definitely, a lot of challenges, but I think that we will come out as a much stronger and a much more focused nation, right? Is everybody facing it, you know? It's not just we alone. There's really saying so much situations going on in Guyana. I'm telling you, there's a whole lot. Thanks for tuning in and for being a part of this live presentation, right? Deborah is saying good evening to everyone. Big up yourself, Deborah. Thanks for being a part of the live and for being a frequent traveler right here on Delta 9 Media. We hear some more what we brothers saying on the street about this strike and what's going on with these prices and how they're affected.
All right, guys. Now it's 2,000, right? Okay, guys. See what y'all gonna do?
There is one correction from some of the operators. As I said, I am representing them and I cannot go against them, but we need to sit down and talk. Some of them is saying that they're requesting Brinoop to Purika $500. We will reach and negotiate what would be the correct fare so that the commuters can be informed. That is what we want.
Anything like you say fast?
I would like to say I appreciate everybody for support the cause. We mean well. We're not attacking anyone.
That is it.
We're just having a gesture that bothers us and concerns us, and you can see how much body it concerns. So it's not something that we orchestrated or is intentional. It's affecting every one of us here. And we're asking for a little solution. Just a little solution.
Just a raise on the fare, right?
Yeah, just a little thing.
Guys. So there you heard it from the Region 3 bus park. Dre out. Action.
Good morning, everybody. Happy to be here and to face the media. And I hope the president gets his news and whoever is necessary authority will authority to take care of this matter. Now, these are set operators here, and this is only a quarter of them. Of potential fears. Now, the minister got in, I think it was Monday afternoon, and said clear to the guy in public, no raise of it. But we cannot live with that. It's not only fuel. He addressed fuel. So we are talking about the time that no increase have come. And the government had agreed that every year they put on $20. If the operators are taking $20 and $40, that's only 2 years. Years have passed, but at $20 they have put on no time at all. Absolutely no time. Now, this is 28. Now, what about it?
Every year, a $20 is. Seems fair because if we analyze what's going on internationally, listen, Long Island Railroad and all had a strike recently over the weekend, going into Monday, and the strike just finished. So, all over the place, persons are being affected by what's going on, right? Long Island Railroad, one of the busiest railroads in the country, one of the busiest railroads in the world. They just had a strike recently as well. I'm pretty sure a lot of persons in the New York area was affected by that strike, right? Tallulah, thanks for being a part of the live. Tallulah is saying, Ejel is nothing more than a bully. He wants the ordinary citizens to bear the government burden. The government should absorb the additional costs. They have the money. We see how they're going to turn out. The one that might get teeth, Tallulah, I'm telling you, because there's a claim that they are already absorbing a lot of the costs. So the rest of the costs were left there. Other persons might God deal with that. We see how it's going to turn out though. Ishmael, thanks for being a part of the live. Ishmael is saying there's no shortage around the world. Expound a bit, Ishmael, so we could get a better understanding. You're saying there's no shortage around the world. No shortage on what? Welcome to the broadcast, Delta 9 Media. Big up, Phil. Thanks for tuning in, Phil. Big up yourself, King. Thanks for being a part of the live. Let me hear some more before we jump into other headlines.
What about things in the supermarket? The operators have a daily, have to go home, get a salary to pay the supermarket for their family. It's not a fuel. Now we're talking about parts now. Parts have doubled and tripled. I don't know, Mr. Ejel and the government and the administrators in this country here saying that things have been raised. Let them come to raise them around and see things out it's raised. Double some of the parts gone. I don't know which, store. I know which store Mr. Ejel went to and said parts and raised. Something wrong with whoever he sent on the road, that carry back to us. Now when it comes to fuel, The fuel gone from $165 to $208 for the longest while. Now, sometimes you go, sometimes you don't. You go and you don't get. Now what happens? You have to go and buy for $2.55 sometimes at private stations.
Big up to all the travelers in the chat right now. The number is on the screen, Delta 9 travelers. The hotline number is up on the screen. Call it in. Let's hear your views about these headlines and a number of other very important and trending headlines that we got to discuss right now, right here on Delta 9 Media. It's a Wisdom Wednesdays. Big up to all the travelers that are in the chat right now, everybody that's a part of the live. Thanks for tuning in. The hotlines are open. Call it in, Delta 9 travelers. Let's have some meaningful conversation on this. From the truck drivers them, to the bus drivers, to the persons coming in the country to work. What's really going on? Even the REO them feeling the squeeze right now. I'm telling you. Greetings, you're on to Delta 9 Media Live.
Yes, good evening, Delta 9, and thank you for your program that you bring credible news to us overseas and around the world. My concern with the fear with the drivers, I sympathize with them because gas price went up. Yeah. And I don't think that if we want to go to work, we have to do something, because if you call it in America, wherever, you call a Uber, you have to pay.
Yes.
You call a taxi, you have to pay. Sometimes some taxi take $10, some take $15. But one thing I want to say, Mr. Edgell can say whatever he wants. The government can say they have transportation where they carry them all around, wherever they want to go. If these bus drivers go on strike, how would these people go to work? Work cannot be done. So I think even if they're asking for $50 more, who cannot have the drivers cannot sympathy with them, because we all have children and they have to support for the work to support their children.
Correct.
School children going to school, yes. Give the children fair flat. But whoever can afford to pay a little more, pay a little more. Because we all are struggling. We all are struggling. The government, Guyana is an oil well company, and still these people are so struggling for a fare, and they cannot give them a raise, period. I think they should be able to help the government come in and give the bus driver them some lump sum of money that the fare would go up. That's my call.
Thanks for calling in and sharing those insights with us. Have a good one. Yeah. Very powerful point. But will it be a reality? Will we see some real solution that persons could look and say, yes, this is something that is going to benefit the drivers, it's going to benefit the commuters as well. Persons are saying, hey, give me a cut on the gas now. Give me a cut on the gas prices. But with what's going on right now in the world, would that be something that the government could even use to pacify the situation? Or is this situation with the Strait of Hormuz too far gone? Samsung, keeping us connected no matter where in the world we are located. Big up to all the frequent travelers that are a part of the chat right now. Big up to everybody that is in the live as we analyze what really taking place in our beautiful nation. A whole lot of problems, unnecessary, some of them, a lot of them unnecessary.
Samsung, keeping us connected no matter where in the world we're located.
Ishmael is saying it's all about control. This government is participating in global population control. Guyana was self-sufficient. Why would you destroy all of our industries and security systems, leaving Guyana vulnerable. Big up yourself, Ishmael. Thanks for dropping those insightful commentaries into the comment section. Government needs to bring back the teal public transportation. Big up yourself to the Indie Empress that's a part of the live right now. Thanks for tuning in. Indie Empress is saying the big businesses should the big buses, rather, should be a mode of public transportation. Well, it seems like if there might be this problem, action, solution, this Hegelian dialectic being played out right in front of our face, That's why I think I see it right here. Because they might get the large buses waiting to be re-implemented as government buses in certain areas, right? And that might be something we might see coming very soon and very shortly. But let's hope that it doesn't come as a thorn in the side of the private persons who is running their buses and cause a whole lot of other hardships for persons who need not to be dealing with all of them hardships in a wealthy nation like Guyana. Less than 1 million people. The minibus drivers and conductors should have been a thing of the past since yesterday. That's rough because that's rough because they got a lot of persons is still making their money in that manner. And if we even think about it, right? Even in a first world country like the US, could ask persons in New York, they could tell you, they still got dollar van running. In Brooklyn, they still get dollar van running. In Queens, right? So it's still something that persons does make their money. It's still a trade that persons display even in the US. They have their private vehicles, and as long as the ordinances allow, they're able to make some money. But there's a lot going on right now in the world, understandably so. People go through a lot on a daily basis with these minibuses, but they get a lot of benefit from these minibuses as well, right? One cannot even hear their own phone ringing sometimes. There's smoking, drinking, etc. It's usually a party bus, if I might add. I know. Indeed, like you jumping in the boom boom bus them are. Because I want to believe that all the bus them is like a party bus. Don't get me wrong, some of them, for sure. Because they're not gonna act like if they ain't got boom boom bus and certain things gonna be going on in the bus them. But nonetheless, they still got honest persons who going out trying to provide a service and to make a living. And it's rough right now. And we're hearing some of these hurdles being highlighted like this.
What happened to the people down here? The people, before I take the bus off, we're hoping. And we take the buses off the road, we assign the people that have to go and do the work in Georgia and other places.
Well said, mister.
Bus drivers strike at 30 to park.
Well, let me hope that this is not a long-term strike. Let's hope that it's something that can be rectified before the end of the week. Let's hope that, the government can definitely step in and do something to pacify this situation. What are your views, Delta 9 travelers? Drop it in the comment section. Call it in. Let's have some meaningful conversation about this and a number of other headlines, as we catch up with all the headlines that's been definitely trending. Very important details. What has the VP been up to recently? Let's hear these very important details.
If you have any issue relating to agriculture, housing, NIS, pension, the cash grant, lands and survey, public works, all of the teams are here today to meet with you, go through your issue, and try to resolve them. So if you bring one of those issues to me, I'll have to send them back down to the ministers who are downstairs meeting people here. So it would be better if you meet them first, and if they cannot resolve the issue, then you come back and see me, rather than come and see me first when you could easily get your matter resolved here. For example, all the people who are waiting for housing, like land for housing development. So right now, we're developing nearly 4,000 house plots in this region. But as of now, we are allocating to people who applied before 2024. But if you apply between 2024 to 2026, we bought some land because the government doesn't have land on the US-Cuba coast. So we bought some land and we're starting the infrastructure development. So by the end of next year, everybody who's applied will get their land, everyone. So when you go there, if you didn't apply as yet, you can apply today for the land. If you apply, say 2025, late 2025, you have to wait maybe till later this year or next year, you'll get it. But if you apply before 2024, it's really likely you will get the land today. They will give you an allocation today, and they will be told where you're getting it. So lands and survey to a lot of people when I come to the US-Cuba coast. Every time I come here, there are problems with land, borders between the neighbor, two neighbors fighting because of a boundary, leases, etc. So the head of lands and survey.
Catching up with what's going on with the VP. Recently having a meeting. So if you don't know, you get approved from before 2024. I tell you in the ghoul right now, but there's a lot of persons that say, listen, more than a decade, they've been in waiting for lands. And it seems like if they didn't even get a survey as yet, they're waiting for lands more than a decade and they still ain't get a survey, you know? Let's hope these situations can be rectified very soon and very shortly. It's definitely a housing shortage. There's definitely a need for that 4,000 and even more houses in our country right now.
He went there and he can't live there. So we can live here. We are earlier, myself and Jack, well, he took me and we went to a meeting at Bushlat Lachman Singh Primary School. They wanted to discuss a transition line through our lands from Mahdia to Maikoni. So they invited all the farmers. Well, I didn't know about it, but Jack knew and he took me and we went. After we listened to them and so on, I said, I have, but both of them are there and the chaps are identical like to me. I can't say which is AG and which one is Cage. But he probably be able to make it, he's younger than I. So I said, sir, I have a point to make. It hasn't anything to do with what we come here to talk about, the transmission line that you are going to bring through our land. But this is something that affects us terribly. I'm talking about the noise from the GPL plant at Columbia. Well, this is the thing that I can't remember. If it is an AG or is Cash, I don't know if he can remember. It's Cash. You know what a guy said? At that meeting where you had hundreds of people, that man stood up there and said, why? I went there. I can't live there. I went there. I can't live. We a jackass or ass. But he didn't say that, but I'm saying he went there and he can't live there. So we can live here. We are some animal, or even the animals couldn't be able to live there. So I forgot to talk about that at the meeting.
And who was this? One of the Nandalal?
Both of them were there.
Which one said?
Well, that's the thing, I can't remember which one.
Which one? Both of them is Nandalal.
Yes.
So the Attorney General said he can't live here.
Yes. I think was. He said that he got letters from.
I am more leaning towards it has been the brother because this is GPL.
Yeah.
So,
both of them were here.
He says so. Both of the letters you respond, just said it's to him. So
the Attorney General.
Yeah.
Oh, so he came and said, yeah, he been there. Okay.
I can't live. We a jackass or ass. But he didn't say that, but I'm saying he went there and he can't live there. So we can live here. We are earlier, myself and Jack. Well, he took me and we went to a meeting at Bushlat Lakshman Singh Primary School. They wanted to discuss a transition line through our lands from Mahdia to Maikoni. So they invited all the farmers. Well, I didn't know about it, but Jack knew and he took me and we went. After we listened to them and so on, I said, I have, well, both of them are there and the chaps are identical like to me. I can't say which is AG and which one is Cage. But he probably will be able to make it. He's younger than I. So I said, sir, I have a point to make. It hasn't anything to do with what we come here to talk about, the transmission line that you are going to bring through our land. But this is something that affects us terribly. I'm talking about the noise from the GPL plant at Columbia. Well, this is the thing that I can't remember. If it is an AG or is Cash. I don't know if he can remember. It's Cash. You know what a guy said? At that meeting where you had hundreds of people, that man stood up there.
I'm telling you, some things that definitely got persons speaking about the issues that they find with the news that is being highlighted by the Attorney General. But this is what the Attorney General was highlighting in his most recent installment in Issues in the News.
But not one of them, and I've looked carefully to see if one of them cited one incidence of alleged corruption in relation to any of the 10 REOs. I looked and I looked carefully to see if they will make one allegation of corruption, give an example, give an incident of corruption in relation to the 10 REOs who function in this position for nearly 6 years. They were unable to do so, yet they label these people as corrupt. Well, some of them who spoke out on this issue. And then they were critical also of the incumbents. Not one of them pointed to an argument that to the effect that these people were unqualified. Not one of them. I didn't see any argument that any of these new appointees were unqualified for the posts. One MP said that they are of questionable character. Some of them are of questionable characters, but he didn't say how. He didn't say why. He didn't give an example, not an empirical piece of evidence to support that bold statement that these people are of questionable characters. I can sit here and tell you that he is of questionable character, and I can give you reasons why I am saying that he is of questionable character. But that is how they assassinate the character, reputation, and good name of people. So one of them said that somebody related to somebody. Well, if the relationship doesn't impact the functions that the person has to perform, where is the disqualifying or disqualification element?
Mm-hmm.
You have to show a conflict that this person can perform this function or ought not to be allowed to perform this function because he's related to and therefore can't be independent of some other person. No such argument is made out. But somebody relative is in the government and therefore they can be an REO. These are idiotic arguments.
I'm telling you. Words coming directly from the Attorney General as it relates to all the regional executive officers, right? Who were just replaced. As we analyze what's going on with the Attorney General and what he's highlighting right there, we could analyze the date and say, but listen, recently, because it's a number of years now, but persons, we're not forgetting this situation. We're not forgetting the many lives that definitely were affected by what went down in Mahdia. So this being one of the anniversaries of those tragic occurrences, we're going to highlight it right here on Delta 9 Media. We're going to make sure that we update one another with the details of what would have went down on that tragic situation, right? Condolences to the family members and the loved ones, and rising power to our everlasting energy. Mahdia school fire, as we remember what went down and highlight the details of what happened on that situation just recently.
All right, you get a kind of a synopsis there as to what took place. Let me walk you from the beginning, right? Yeah, share. We have reached 2000. Share. Now, the fire occurred on the female dormitory at Mahdia on the night of the 21st of May, 2023, right? As you saw there, or you are there, 20 children perished in that fire.
20. 20, not 2, but 20 persons, right? And up to now, all we're hearing is that one of the very students is the person that is facing more charges than the age. I wonder what's going to become of this situation. We're going to hear some more details coming in from the top cops. And if you're looking to hear the entirety of the presentation, check out Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption and Incompetence right here on YouTube. And you will be able to get everything that came from the classroom recently. I tell you, big up to the top cops. Desrick, what's going on? Desrick is saying it's a waste of time. Tallulah, one of our insightful moderators, is saying this. The thing I don't understand, these people complaining about everything, but they continue to vote for these no good people and expect a change. What sense does that make? What sense does that make? Big up yourself, Tallulah, and thanks for dropping these insights into the comment section. I'm telling you, a lot of persons is really and truly trying to suss out this situation, right? And we really want to know what sense it makes for persons to continue to vote because of race and have this divided perspective on certain things, not realizing that it affects the entire nation. When we put certain persons in these positions of power, right? It affects the entire nation when they don't do the right thing.
20 children, right? The next day, you are there too that one of the children in that dormitory, they alleged that she set the fire because of something with phone and all this other thing. And so the claim is arson, which resulted in the death of these 20 people. The very next day, look what happened. This is supposed to be a crime scene, at least a scene in which 20 persons died. The very next day, or shortly after this fire occurred, I think it was a Sunday night. This is Mark Lyon Phillips, the Prime Minister. In the debris, in the evidence, this is Priya Manik-Chan and some senior fireman there. In the evidence, in the debris. Let me show you all more. Look, Mark Phillips again. They're in. But look, you can't believe some of these things, you know. You can't believe. So you had this fire. 20 children died in this fire. And very shortly thereafter, there is no attempt to protect the crime scene. And guess who was in charge at the division at the time? Guess who? Mandal. The same Mandal who was there with the Adriana Young matter at Region 3. He too was one of the senior officers in Region 5 when the Henry brothers were killed. He was there. And if my memory...
He was there for Henry buys. He was there in Mahdia, allegedly. And he's on the video throughout. You could see him. He was there for the Adriana situation. Coincidence or convenience? Coincidence or convenience that this one individual just find themselves a part of all of these three? Cases where persons are still waiting for justice. Cases where the scene was compromised, as the top cops them is highlighting right here. Cases where we still saying justice and still looking for justice for these people. Very suspicious times and very questionable situations, right? We hear some more coming in from the top cops.
Source me correct. I'm subject to correction. But at the time when this thing occurred, this Mahdia fire, I don't think he was an assistant commissioner. I don't think he was an assistant commissioner. I think he was a senior superintendent. And after that, he was promoted to assistant commissioner. But this is a scene, a crime scene. 20 children died in this scene. And the very next day, the police took absolutely no control of this crime scene. So the next day, Mark Phillips and all of them, Priya Manik-Chan and them, she was the education minister at the time. They can be in the, and a senior fire officer, I see no senior police here. Senior fire officer in the debris, he must be pointing out some bone or something. And then we learned later too, sometime after that, they took the debris with body parts to full hole in the street. You think these people are ordinary, yeah? You think they're ordinary? They took the debris to fill holes in the street. They picked. Look, I gotta show these things for you to understand. I got to show you these things because when somebody tell you these things, you tend not to believe. But this is a fire that killed 20 children. I don't think all of them died the same night, but many died the night. And the very next day or shortly after that, you have Mark Phillips, the Prime Minister. They're flying there, right? They're walking in the debris, right? You have the Priya Manik-Chan, the Minister of Education, walking in the debris, and nobody can tell them, nobody couldn't advise them that first of all, you ought to have cordoned off that area. You have to cordon off that area. And therefore, no one, including the Prime Minister, including the President, no one.
I don't want to believe that the top cops is the only right-thinking law enforcement, the only law enforcement with the right approach to dealing with a crime scene like this. So what happening with the rest of persons that is still a part of the force? They couldn't call it out and say, man, hey, we dealing with this situation right now. Yeah, can't come on the scene and compromise this, that. And what's the proceedings right now with this case? Who's being prosecuted? What's the level at which the investigation is going on right now? Very important questions, you know. Things that we can't allow them to sweep under the rug is the fact that you got this same person just appearing in these different situations. You got another scene being compromised right here. Should have been cordoned off. Investigators alone. Persons gathering evidence alone. Right? Big up to the legal alien. Touching down in the live. Thanks for being a part of the presentation. Victor saying this was not a coincidence. That was not a coincidence. Yeah. Definitely. Don't seem like a coincidence to me, neither, Victor. It's something that definitely needs a lot more scrutiny.
Should have had access to that scene. The only people who should have access were the investigators, maybe the forensic investigators. They're the only people who should have had access. But you have all them walking in the thing there. And then let me go on to tell you, as I said, Mandal was in charge as the commander. And I say, Mandal, poor boy, you get pitchfork into this position, little or no training for any senior command position. The man used to be the presidential guard. But I guess because of his contacts and so on, his ethnicity, he got promoted to assistant commissioner. Because I believe, I'm almost certain that when this Mahdia fire occurred, he was not an assistant commissioner. Because he was stationed at Mahdia, and I don't think they ever had an assistant commissioner in charge of that region, I think region 7. So he might have been a senior superintendent. Man got promoted. Man ended up at West Demerara at some stage as an assistant commissioner. Adriana Young, murder, I'm called a murder. He know what to do. When the Henry boys were killed in Berbice, well, he might not have been the commander then, but he was a senior officer there. It's all sort of things falling in, and the man got promoted now, you know. Again, because the man now is the second in charge of operations in the Guyana police force. That is what.
Second in charge of operations. I wonder what's going on with the conversation about the Red Ram. Right? Things that we hear being highlighted by the top cops right there. Coincidence or convenience? Big up to all the travelers that are in the chat right now. The hotline number is on your screen, Delta 9 travelers. Call it in. Let's have some meaningful conversations. Drop it into the comment section. Deborah is saying good night, Delta 9. Big up yourself, Deborah. Thanks for being a part of the live presentation. Thanks for dropping insightful commentary in the comment section as well. Big up to all the frequent travelers. Now, the top cops was just talking about what was going on and the different implications with even the situation with Adriana Young. Well, guess what? Honorable Dr. Todd is out and about and always busy with the work of the people. Let's get some of these insights coming in straight from one of the most recent situations that the Honorable Dr. Todd was highlighting.
Good afternoon. I have with me Mr. UN Thorne, and it's important that Guyanese understand what is happening in this country. Now, UN Thorne came and he reported something on Tuesday, on Friday, right?
Yeah, on Friday.
On Friday. Now, I want UN Thorne to speak a story, and I will speak immediately after that. Because if we do not take a drastic action against the conduct and practice of Kanu, I do not believe that this can continue at all. Now, come on. I want you to say exactly your experience. Kanu said they wanted you to come in.
Yes.
And they published a wanted bulletin. And they said that they wanted you to come in to the Kanu headquarters for questioning.
Yes.
Now, you complied with Kanu's request.
Yes, sir.
Now, when you complied with Kanu's request,
Yes, sir.
did you go into Kanu with any injuries?
No, sir.
I want you to tell the public your experience as to what happened when you went into Kanu. Come a little closer.
My name is UN. I reside at my name is UN. My name is UN. I reside at Kienville, 2nd Street, Kienville. I went into Kanu Friday afternoon, about approximately after 1. When I met to the gate, I was met to the office. I said myself, my name is UN. I'm here for the question that you have a wanted to. I was took inside, braced on the wall. I was searched, body searched. I was held by my pants and carried down to the back of the Kanu office. So I was told to go on my knees. There was assaulted. I was kicked, stamped by various officers, at least about 20 or 15 officers. I was stamped by for about approximately like an hour and something. I was hit with a wood. I was hit with an iron bar on my ribs. I was hit to my shoulders, various parts. I have marks of violence, but it doesn't make
Take off your shirt and show them. You take off your shirt and show the public. All these scars. Show them. Show them. There. Show them here. Show them here. Show them. Show them. Show them. Show them your back.
I was beaten on my foot bottom. My foot is slightly swelled still. It's not more strong, slightly still swelled. I was beating my head. I was beaten in my head. I was beaten in my head.
Show your head. Show the part of your head where you were beaten.
I was knocked here. I have a slight guard here that I went to the hospital. That if I received the medical, that you will see the laceration part here. And on the side behind me here. Then after I was beaten, I was handcuffed by the beating. I was choked to the rope. The only thing I didn't receive is shot. At least they were threatening to do me for a period of time, and they moved me from one point to the park, and I in a car now with the ruffles a little bit more.
When did you come out of Kanu's custody?
Sunday afternoon.
That is yesterday.
Yes.
Yesterday afternoon.
Yes.
And while you were in Kanu's custody, in all this pain and injuries that they inflicted on you, what did they do? Tell the public what they gave you.
They were giving me some pain tablets and some ice pack to keep the swelling down. All my heart is swelling. But they got also ice pack and some tablets. I use them when you were 8 pain tablets. I even when I explained to the doctor, they said, well, she gave me tablets. She found it.
No. I want you to tell the public the whole story. What is it that you told them? And what is it that they told you?
Well,
Tell the public.
when I went in there, they were asking me about some money. I don't know money that some individual told them that he had given to me, but nobody hadn't given me any money. I saw another individual there that was beaten, another individual on the ground was beaten, and one individual was sent away the Saturday. And when I was sent away, after finishing giving the statement for them, they sent me away, and the same individual that they had put up the wanted poster for.
Now, in this statement, so they basically, you didn't give them a statement
before
on Friday because you were denying
yes
any knowledge of any narcotics. Did you give them a statement Saturday? No. You give them a statement that they wanted a statement from you on Sunday. I want you to say, how come you end up giving them a statement?
I was still fearful and I was still fearful for my life. And the time I give a statement, well, they would send me off. Keep in mind, well, I have a vehicle that I was driving, the people vehicle, the phone, my ID card, my license, and my backyard. And the time to come back tomorrow, which is Tuesday at 10 o'clock. But it seems that the time I come back, I still fearful because I went in peacefully already. Free spirit self, and I was brutally assaulted. So it got me feeling worried now that I have to go back again.
Now, this story is even more troubling. Now, he has maintained he has no knowledge of any narcotics. Now, if you were following the incident as it occurred, I think it was Thursday night.
Yeah.
Most of us, or Wednesday night, most of us, I think, followed that story on Facebook or what the case may be. Now, no narcotics was found in this car, but the canoe allegedly shot at the car, fired shots at the car. Now, no, the canoe didn't get the car. The canoe got the number plate of the car. Now, the canoe then went to the home of Mr. Thorne. And the canoe found his common law spouse. And I want you to listen to her. Come. Tell the public what the canoe did to you.
Good afternoon. My name is Alisa. They were very disrespectful to me as a big woman. It had two young female officers that started slapping me about to enter my home. First thing, they didn't show me any warrant or even rap on my door. They break it down. And they already had their gun fighting as they break it down. They had guns, like 20 of them coming in at the same time. I had two small kids, a 16-year girl and a 11-year boy. I had to stand in front of them. They're pointing the gun at them children. I'm telling them that I was drinking whole weekend and I'm like since Mother's Day and I'm under the influence of alcohol. Right? Mm-hmm. I said I can't say anything right now because I'm drunk as it. And I hold my kids like this and I stand up on the couch in the whole house. I even carry my chain, my earrings. That is not even real.
Like, tell you, hey, when you hear these situations, when you just got to irritate and say, what is really going on? What is really going on in Guyana? Big up yourself to Mr. Todd, wherever you're there. Honorable Mr. Todd. Out doing the work of the people, right? Highlighting a situation that if you didn't hear it coming out from certain persons, you'd got to say, but wait, is we really hearing this? Just so you just go up in somebody's place and start boxing them up. A man turning himself. You're still gonna put you on your knees and do them things to you, allegedly. Allegedly. Is what we really hearing here, man. Melroy is saying good night to all. Big up yourself, Melroy. Thanks for being a part of the live. Thanks for being a part of the live presentation. Well, we heard those details coming in right there from Dr. Todd as he highlighted the situation that the brother and sister are definitely facing on the ground. What are your views, Delta 9 travelers? Drop it in the comment section. Call it in. I'm telling you, so many headlines for us to analyze, so many things for us to make sure we update one another with. Well, recently, Honorable McDonald was highlighting some of the hurdles that she's facing on the ground with a particular organization. Let me get these details coming in right now from the MP and from Mr. Wayne Caesar.
This entity, this particular entity that loves to send love letters to certain people. We have to talk about that entity. Any entity that is worth its salt would embrace any and everybody once you fight, if you think that they're going out of line. When Barajagio had called Kathy Hughes a low life, where was the ERC? ERC, you were sleeping then? Were you sleeping then?
MP.
When Russian Khan jumped out there and attacked Amanza Walton, where was the ERC? Where were you? Indra Ali or Indira Ali, whatever is her name, every 2 mornings, same things, different days. ERC. I'm not getting my British accent right. ERC, where are you? You know? Ali, don't tickle me. Don't tickle me.
Well, look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to speak based on what I know because the Honorable Coretta McDonald was nice enough to allow me the latitude to view the letter that was sent to her by the ERC. And by no means am I her attorney. And I am not an attorney, but I know enough. All right? Let's start off with this with this institution. All right, the Ethnic Relations Commission. All right, it was an institution that was created, and it was not an institution that was created to be selective, to be biased, okay, to be what you want to call it? Yeah, selective and biased and convenient. Yes, that's the word I wanted to use. Convenient. All right, and MP, you would have talked of the issue and the incident where Barajagli would have called a sitting minister in government a lowlife. You had Nigel Darmlao showing the dildo and doing all this stuff in Parliament. These are issues that could have come before the Ethnic Relations Commission, right? And let's go a bit further here because this one, I believe, you had the incident with Tukumo Gonse, where we were simply talking about the fact that the ethnicity of all the people that is holding the guns, in the Guyana Police Force, Guyana Defense Force, if they turn the guns the other way and they, something to that extent, and they create a big stink about that. Had him before the ERC got him arrested and all of this type of stuff, right? So here we go. We're building up a history on this institution now. All right. Now we had this young gentleman, and this is to show what is taught at the bottom house meetings by the PPPC, right? This young gentleman, Imran, all right? When Imran said they should just call a party, cook a whole set of couple pot of cocoa rice, and just poison out all them black man.
I'm telling you, persons are calling on the ERC saying, where was the ERC? Honorable McDonald highlighting certain situations that she and other persons are facing on the ground. What are your views, Delta 9 travelers? What are your views about that?
A little bit money. We don't need this shit. What the fuck you believe gonna happen Monday morning with your children? You gotta buy.
Well, listen, We didn't get a chance to have a real conversation on some of these headlines that was coming in. So this one right here, connected to what Honorable McDonald was just highlighting about the ERC. Persons are analyzing situations just recently and other situations that went down as well, connected and saying, what is we? It seems like if there's a real favoritism type of thing, it seems like it's only certain people the ERC does deal with. My apologies, because you already know how some persons does articulate. They might got a couple of expletives. So you're advised.
Bag fucking island, I got bus bread. They want them for the Bonnet Brigade. She gave me for me fucking nurse. I posted up here. I'm going to check the video. These people born to suffer. They don't even like the God, and they in the fucking church more than black people. Whole fucking day they run church. Whole day. Them is the biggest Christian. And they don't like the God because they don't like the fucking hair. They like the color. They like the fucking nails. And I must worry about them.
Chinese brothers and sisters both at home and in the diaspora. By now, I know most right-thinking Guyanese are fully aware that the Guyanese critic is out of his mind and that nothing that he says should be taken seriously. However, we have bodies in this country that have a mandate to make sure that they foster an environment of harmony amongst the races because we have a multi-ethnic society. Where are those bodies? Where is the ERC? This is why you see when we say the ERC is a rubber stamp, this is what we mean. But I'm listening to Guyanese critic words saying that black people deserve to suffer, they don't like their own God. And as disrespectful as it is, this isn't the most disrespectful Guyanese critic has gotten. So we expect nothing better from him. But what I want you guys to understand about the Guyanese critic, brothers and sisters abroad, and this was all allegedly reported and it was in the public domain. This man that is claiming people deserve to suffer would have been given a $800+ million Bellevue pump station contract and was given more than $150 million mobilization cost. And mind you, brothers and sisters, there is no verification of work that Mr. Mikel Rodriguez did that matches that mobilization money that he was given. But
telling you, different things persons starting to bring together and say, what is we? You saying people must suffer, but you get 800 plus, and we ain't seeing nothing going on. And the money have to come from the same taxpayers. Melroy is saying the ERC is not for black people. Listen, there's a conversation that a lot of persons are presenting. I'm telling you. Compton is saying this. What a racist government. Who is he to tell private owners what to do? This is another episode of Let's Blame the Bus Operators. When cooking gas goes up, tell Shell the same thing. I'm telling you. Big up yourself, Compton. Thanks for dropping the insights into the comment section. Floyd is saying, good night, Delta 9. Big up Guyanese near and far. In and up. Every single time, Floyd. Thanks for being a part of the live. Melroy is pointing out the fact that, listen, today is 2 years for the Mahdia dorms fire. 20 children died on the 20th of May. Big up yourself, Melroy. Where are the convictions for that though? One person alone charged, person is underage, right? Are we to believe that, that was the only person that is culpable in this whole situation where 20 persons would have lost their life? It's things for us to really analyze, you know. Things that we really got to analyze.
Yet still, somehow, Guyanese critic, according to the reports, wasn't paying his rent for some amount of time. This is what we've been hearing in the public domain. Maybe 2 years the man didn't pay his rent and was evicted from his humble abode. And what proved and justified that they were actually evicted? Because we saw Mr. Freddie Kissoon out on the Siwa with his pants blowing in the wind. So we knew that immediately that critics don't have a studio anymore. Now, how can you, Mr. Critic, have a $150 million and higher, $180 million, I believe it actually was, in mobilization costs to build a pump station that you didn't build? You weren't charged for it criminally, because there's no way that you're going to give a contractor. In most other countries, I'm guessing you give a contractor states money, states fund to complete a contract, and they don't contract it. I'm guessing that there's some kind of ramification, some kind of penalties attached to that, but not in Guyana. So you didn't even have to pay back that money. But at the end of all of the critic, you couldn't even pay your rent. This is according to the reports, and the fact we see Freddie with the pants swinging. We know for a fact you couldn't pay your rent, Guyanese critic, and you're out. And you're speaking about people who deserve to suffer, Guyanese critic. When you had so many opportunities under one Guyana and you still can't even afford to pay your rent, Guyanese critic. And I can't understand how Guyanese people allow Guyanese critic to come and try to embarrass and disrespect and degrade our national image to the rest of the world. How do the Africans do it? I don't understand how y'all do it. Because this guy here that came out brawling on the 23rd or the 24th of April when Adriana Young was missing at the Doubleday Tushin Hotel for hours, came at that pool, this same man, you know, who saying people deserve to suffer, came out to that pool with his camera and said there's no one in the pool. I don't have to go into the pool. The pool is clear. It is clear. And then when Adriana's body magically appeared in that pool in a lifeless position with laceration and marks apparently of violence, allegedly, on her body, Guyanese critic went on the Freddie Kissoon show and said the pool was murky. This man has no dignity, no integrity. And Guyanese critic also clearly doesn't have a conscience. He don't have a conscience. And this man can come out on the media every minute and talk about who deserves to suffer. This man that came to Doubleday said no one was in that pool, as everybody outside was looking for that child. Thousands of Guyanese. And then when the girl body magically appeared in the pool, said the pool was murky. And this
pool was murky, right? Things that we can't forget, you know. Very important things that we can't allow them to sweep under the rug, Delta 9 travelers. I'm telling you.
8 Butterfly Black Seed, loaded with antioxidants and essential nutrients for your body's needs. Breathe better, feel better, live healthier. All the benefits of black seed oil without the taste. 8 Butterfly Black Seed Capsule.
100% wild-crafted sea moss. Only the best, 'cause you deserve nothing less. 8 Butterfly.
Unleash the best version of yourself with every goddess. Say goodbye to limitations and say hello to a better, stronger, healthier you.
Feet on soil, Guyana roots in my veins.
No matter where in the world, we love Guyana. What are your colors? How do you represent? I love Guyana. Order yours today. We ship worldwide. Delta 9 Media.
One love, one people, the mission complete. One love, one flag, one nation, right? Under the stars, divine presence in the sky. Unity, no war, let the children thrive. Power to the people, we keep hope alive.
I'm telling you, the headlines are numerous, and there was a lot of things that definitely has been trending since the last time we were live, having one of these international digital connections, right? Dealing with some of the headlines that are definitely trending and important. I want to big up to everybody. Right now, we're going on Bantu King. Thanks for tuning in. Blessings to Delta 9 family. Big up yourself. Thanks for being a part of the live. Victor saying critic is a total disgrace and disrespectful man to society. I'm telling you. Man put the arm on couple well people. Both of them with the same first name on the record. Yeah, I'm telling you. There's so much things when you really think about it. Just say to yourself, but wait. That is really running in a real weird way, you know? A real weird way. Light is saying this. Good evening, I'm listening. I believe that we can look out for the school children. Adults should see with the driver. I'm guessing Light is highlighting what we was talking about with the bus drivers and the strike, right? I'm telling you. Big up to all the travelers right now that are in the chat. Everybody that dropping insights into the comment section. But what's going on with this situation with Charan Das? We recently see a number of persons went across the political aisle again. Seems like most persons now that we're gonna see in the PPP look like a lot of persons now are coming out from the PNC, from the APNU and other parties. But one of the former AFC members as well is highlighting this about the whole Charanda situation. And it's something that he's saying, listen, I never highlighted this before. So when I heard it, I said, man, I got to make sure that I bring this and highlight it to the Delta 9 travelers. Let me hear these details.
Something about the AFC that I've never said publicly.
Viewers,
it has
viewers,
to do,
you hearing this?
And it has to do with Charan Das Prasad. I was in China when the Charan Das Prasad vote, the yes vote of Charan Das Prasad, reverberated throughout this country and throughout the Caribbean.
Maybe the world.
And I was in China. So when you're out of Guyana, you don't get a real feel of what's happening in Guyana. You don't. You have to depend on second-hand.
You get information through live, to going to the restaurant, to the supermarket.
And 2 weeks before that no confidence vote, I am in China, and I heard that Charan Das Prasad has defected and he will vote with the PPP. 2 weeks before, I was in China and I heard.
And you told them?
One such person that told me, it means they knew, because people in the government told me. One such person who told me that was Imran Khan, the DPI head and liaison to the Prime Minister. And let Raphael Trotman make me a liar. I called Raphael Trotman. And I said, Raphael, this is what I'm hearing. I give him my source because at that point it was critical and I got nothing to hide. I said, I heard it from this guy and thing. Raphael Trotman said to me he heard it too. And at the time, Raphael Trotman was leader of the AFC. That was before the AFC Congress and before Kemra Jamjitan became leader. At that time, Raphael Trotman was leader. And I said to Raphael Trotman, you as leader, hearing these things, you have to confront Charan Das Prasad. I said, the least you can do is call Charan Das Prasad in a room lock your door,
and do the West Indian
stare him down in his face.
What was wrong with you?
You understand what I'm
West
saying?
Indian politics, yeah.
I said it is incumbent upon you to do that. And he agreed, but you know when people agree, but not in an agreeable way.
Yeah,
And then from that you will know. If you're not sure, call your partner who you helped to start the AFC, Ramjitan, and say, Ramjitan, I get an uneasy feeling. Let me call Charandas again to another meeting.
But they have learned.
And tell me. And I'm saying this was an entire 2 weeks before the no confidence vote. An entire 2 weeks. What happened, I don't know. I surmise. As far as my information go, the only meeting that they had with Charandas was when they called all the MPs together. And Nali said, tell me now if any one of y'all going and vote against me, tell me now. And everybody go around the table and everybody say no. In that setting, you can't get no vibe from anybody because we are in a big room and my vibe being drowned out by everybody else. And I just say no and sit down there, and then I go in the thing and vote against. So I am saying there are several, and then they had another opportunity to save themselves. Said to them that let us not take this vote. It's too close to Christmas. It was the 18th of December or something like that.
Moses said, bring it on.
Yes.
Moses said,
no,
bring
it
it
was
on.
it Moses or
Moses.
Amnali?
No, Moses.
Okay.
Moses said, bring it on. But what we need to say is that Jagan and Burnham were masters at talking to people. Let me give you an incident with Burnham. I can't remember the guy's name. It was in my head, but he was editor of New Nation. Burnham went away, and when Burnham came back, Burnham saw something written. Burnham called Cecil Griffith, who was the boss of the guy, and said, tell him I want to see him. I'm going to roast his balls. And Burnham called Cecil Griffith, and the guy his name is in my. I went to his wake when he died, and they met at the poolside at Castellani House where Burnham used to live. And Burnham bring out fine liquor, and Burnham start to talk to this guy in real West Indian style, and then although with West Indian style, Burnham was very demanding. And then Burnham said, all right, let me take a drink. Just like that. And bring out he and the man and Cecil. And so, you see, what Burnham did there is presented himself as somebody who was offended. But you could still be redeemed, although you offend Burnham. Burnham was like, Jagan. Jagan would call you in. Jagan. There was the head of the Rice Producers Association, somebody, one of the PPP leaders I really liked and respected, right? Fazal Ali. And Fazal, right? Over fertilizers. And Jagan called him and said, look, pay the man. I think Dr. Hanneman was selling fertilizer. And Ali was president of the Rice Producers Association. Jagan, you wonder what Norton has learned from being, he was in the YSM when Burnham was a global figure. You want to know what they have learned? Absolutely nothing. Now, one of the shortcomings of Norton is that he doesn't, I don't know if he feels he's too big. I don't know if it's inherent arrogancy, but he don't call you and beg you, or he don't call you and cajole you. Everybody who left the PNC said that about him.
I'm telling you. It seems like, I don't know, but it seems like if they got a permanent problem, with Honorable Mr. Norton. Yeah, telling you, it seems like they got a permanent problem with the big man. What are your views, Delta 9 travelers? Could it be a situation where they got more persons that might have been affiliated with this whole Charandas thing that might be a part of what's still going on in the party? If they knew about what was going on, how come persons take so long, allegedly, to confront this situation that we could see cause some real shockwaves throughout the political spectrum in Guyana, to the point where a lot of the effects could really and truly still be seen, you know? But guess what? Let's analyze what's going on internationally, because there were some developments as it relates to the US and Cuba, right? There was a recent indictment that just came down for Castro. Let's get into some of these details right now, because this could got some far-reaching implications. We might see moves to go and pick up persons from Cuba, like persons were picked up from Venezuela. Let me hear some of these details coming in from Mr. Well, it's coming directly from President Trump. Let me hear some of these details.
They came there that were decimated, whose families were ruined. Appreciate what the Attorney General just did today and was just doing now. It's just watching it. So we have Cuba on our mind. Very important. Been a lot of problem for a lot of years, and this was I think it was a very big moment for people that, not only Cuban Americans, but people that came from Cuba that want to go back to Cuba, people that want to see their family in Cuba. I think this is a very big day, very important day. They supported me to the nth degree. They supported me at levels that nobody's ever seen before. And so I think it's a very important moment.
Mr. President, what's coming next for Cuba?
Well, we're going to see. It's a failing nation. You see that. It's falling apart. They have no oil. They have no money. It's a failing nation. So I just can't tell you that. But we're there to help. We're there to help the families, the people. And again, a lot of those people are related to me in the sense that I've had such a great relationship with Cuban Americans. They supported me at a 94% level. That's a pretty good level. And their relatives are there. So we got to, on a humanitarian basis, we're there to help.
There last week.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that at all?
Well, we have a lot of people there. We have the CIA there. We have Marco is there. Marco's parents, as you know, were from Cuba. So we have a lot of expertise in Cuba, and it's not going to be like the biggest thing we've ever done, but I will tell you, to a lot of
developments coming in from Cuba. And we're getting those details coming directly from the president himself. A lot of implications in that one, because if you're hearing about an indictment on something as big as that charge, then are we going to see an extraction like we saw with the president of Venezuela? And what would these implications mean for persons who were close partners to Cuba? What would this implication mean for the Caribbean if we were to see an extraction like we saw in Venezuela, right? We can get some more coming from the president. Bantu King is saying, what did Ali learn from J-Gun? I telling you, the question right the persons got asked. Because if we look at what's taking place right now on the ground, we got wonder if persons are really taken from the teachings, because this is some of the teachings right here, Bantu King.
We believe that the working people must have a say, and the state must help to protect the poor. The rich can always take care of themselves. The poor is the one who needs protection, and that is what the PPP was created for.
When you ask what did they learn, right? What's going on right here with these implications? Cuba, former Cuban leader Raul Castro indicted.
People, it's going to be one of the most important. They've been looking for this moment for 65 years. So we'll see what happens. But we're going to, in the meantime, we're going to have to help them out. They have no way of living. They have no food. They have no electricity. They have no energy at all. But they do have great people. There are a lot of great people. I mean, I have so many Cuban friends in Miami, mostly in Miami and Florida. And they're unbelievable people. They're unbelievable entrepreneurs. And they'd like to go back. I think hopefully they're going to want to live here. But they want to go back. Maybe they'll invest. We'll see what happens. But we're freeing up Cuba.
Mr. President, how much longer do you anticipate the embargo having to be in place on Cuba?
We'll see. We'll be announcing it pretty soon.
On the table here, Mr. President, should we expect any escalation here, or should they expect anything? Yes.
No, you won't. There won't be escalation. I don't think there needs to be. Look, the place is falling apart. It's a mess, and they've sort of lost control. They've really lost control of Cuba.
Do you think Raul action like you did with Maduro? Houston is on Capitol Hill today.
I'm telling you, there's a lot going on the ground right now in Cuba as well. Persons are highlighting details from the country. And listen, it's some rough times in Cuba right now.
Yeah. So you want to grab some, or you finish your bread?
These are government ration stores. Look at the shampoo, as if it were a golden commodity. And here is toilet paper.
Look here.
Because this shop is from the government.
Empty.
On the other side, there are stores that sell in dollars.
So this market is for rich?
It's mostly for high middle class and rich people, because not everyone has access to the dollars. So this is the place where the rich people come.
Now look at the difference between the government supermarket and this one. Each serves a completely different reality. All these prices are in dollars. Look, there are no American products at all. Not even Coca-Cola. This one is made in Venezuela, made in Vietnam. This one is made in Spain.
As we look at some of the situations being faced on the ground in Cuba right now, Bantu King is saying, listen, Cuba is not Venezuela, right? Plus, if it were not for the embargo and blockade, Cuba would be a thriving nation, right? Well, I'm telling you, there's not a lot thriving right now in Cuba. There's a more a situation of survival, thriving. Yeah, survival right now, Bantu King. Them are going through it right now on the ground, but blackout. We hear a lot of persons would have transcended because of the blackout. We can get into some of that too.
From Brazil. I never buy nothing in this market. I know another market in local pesos more cheaper.
How many salary you need?
Never. With Cuban salary, I can buy anything here. I need some family or friend, another country, send me some money in dollar or in euro, and come in here, I buy it.
What's the average salary here?
$10, $12 a month, yeah.
So how people live here, man? How do you feel?
Black market.
This is the black market in Cuba. People come from all over the country to this market, the black market. You'll find a huge amount of goods that slipped in illegally. Because the internet is weak, instead of opening YouTube, you go to a shop and buy videos already loaded onto a flash drive.
He download movies for people?
So he's in charge of copying everything onto the flash drive that people bring. They buy movies and so on. We hardly ever use the internet. We've been doing this for a while.
From the ground in Cuba right now, like we just heard, the president was highlighting the fact that certain head of states, certain persons that were a top ranking in the political space, indicted.
Every single person in ICU in the hospitals of Cuba died last night because there is no power. And the president knows it and refuses to send help. Y'all ain't bothered by that? They're meandering in the dark, have absolutely no light because the billionaires feel as if they could just take over anywhere and have no regard for people. Blessed be the peacemakers. Every person in ICU in the hospital in Cuba died. Every single person in ICU in the hospitals of Cuba died last night.
That's rough.
Because there is no power. And the president knows it and refuses to send help. Y'all ain't bothered by that? They're meandering in the dark, have absolutely no light because the billionaires feel as if they could just take over anywhere and have no regard for people. Blessed be the peacemakers.
Internationally, those are some of the headlines that definitely are making a lot of ripples, a lot of waves. I'm telling you, got a lot of persons talking. Guyana don't have no embargo or blockade, and there is no light, clean water, no food, or little food for the people. When we analyze it like that, telling you Bantu King, we really got wonders what's going on in the country, right? Because we ain't got no embargo, like you're highlighting for real. There's no embargo or none of that going on. But what's going on with we cost of living? What's going on with the situations that we are facing on the ground? But even as we analyze it, they got a lot of ways go all over the globe, right? A lot of ways travel to different parts of the world. A lot of ways say, hey, why right now this situation that's going on in GT, I want to do X, I want to do Y, or I just might end up doing Z and finding myself in a different part of the world. But guess what? The grass is not always greener on the other side, right? Do we hear some of these details coming in from persons who would have traveled internationally, right? And go through this struggle in Canada, in the US, in other parts of the world right now. Listen, these are some of the situations that we are facing.
I somehow allow people to convince me that a good life and a successful life is owning a home, owning a car, having this career, and taking a student loan to advance that career, only to find out that when you do all of these things, you become a slave. You acquire all these material things that the bank owns, and all you do is live with the debt of trying to pay for it. And when you realize you have no quality of life, this is May. It is so freaking cold outside, and you can't get to enjoy your life. So even the things that you're buying to say, yeah, I've accomplished these things, you're not getting a chance to enjoy because you live in people's workplace. You're like a slave to this thing. It's the worst, and you're not enjoying your life. And you're surrounded by all these bills and more bills, and you realize that somebody tricked you into thinking that borrowing money from the bank to buy a house and borrowing money to buy a car and all these things only make you stuck in the matrix. I'm annoyed. I am so sick of it. And at the end of the day, you get sick and you're not living any quality of life. Now, if you want to leave from wherever you are in the world to come and experience this, I'm not going to tell you to stop. I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of living in Canada. I'm sick of feeling like, I need to be released from this bondage. And I'm not alone. And it has nothing to do with color or creed. It has a lot of people are living here in Canada and they feel like a slave. They're not enjoying their life. They're miserable. And some people can't even escape because guess what? Financially, they're not able to get out of their situation. And when they tell you, purchasing a home, one of the biggest, achievements in life, you find out that, listen, all it does is keep you in bondage. I'm so sick of it. And freedom for me means an escape from living like this, where you have the illusion of success and all you do is not enjoy life. When you live here, June and July, before you kind of see like the sun comes out and you're warm, and you only have a few months and before you're back to it. I'm sick of it. So I'm not telling any Jamaican, and I'm not telling anybody, because they always mistake when you complain. And for those of you who are going to come and say, why don't you leave? I'd love to. And sometimes it's not that easy. When you get to my age and you put in so much time and you work hard to achieve certain things, and when you see it slipping through your hand, if you don't stay on the plantation, it is very scary. So you end up staying longer than you should. I'm sick of this life. Canada is not the place it used to be. Canada invite all of these immigrants into the space, and before you know it, people who have been here paying taxes for decades are left in the side, even though they have worked hard. And people who never contributed nothing, they come here, bring them, take the jobs from the people who are already here for decades and paying taxes. And now, I feel sorry for myself, and I feel sorry for all the other people who have done all the work and now should be benefiting. In Brampton right now has the most people losing their homes.
There were the sisters highlighting right there. We all think about that, Delta 9 travelers. Bantu King is saying America thrives on debt. Big up yourself to Let's Talk the Things. Thanks for being a part of the live. One love every single time. Big up yourself. The Bantu King is saying America thrives on debt. Yeah. And the situation persons are facing, not Canada alone, the US as well. The UK, remember recently, they opened up the gates and said, everybody come over. visa-free travel, right? Then look what went down over there recently. No place like home. No place like GT. One of the wealthiest nations in the world. Per capita, we got it. As far as resources go, on paper, on the books, one of the wealthiest nations. But the persons that we put in these positions of power, right, is who got a lot of us facing these situations to where we glad for jump on a plane, glad for beat out. But then when we go to these other parts of the world, we say, but wait, buddy, look what you gotta come and face. You gotta come and create a whole new life for yourself. You come with 2 suitcases and you gotta accumulate it from scratch. You gotta get everything back again. Right? You gotta find a house. You gotta furnish it. Some of us come and we ain't connected with family members and stuff like that. You gotta do it on your own. Right? Certain hurdles, and then you still gotta find something to send back because persons are looking to you, saying, hey, this is the person now in foreign, this, that, and the third. They're looking to you and saying, hey, what could you do for me? But you're hearing it right there from persons going through it, right? See, talking things is saying he never know that it was so in Canada. Hey, telling you, it's serious. Serious times. Pick up yourself. And thanks for dropping those insights into the comment section. Nigella is saying good night. It's all over the world. All over the world, persons are highlighting that they're going through certain things like this.
People who work sometimes 2-3 jobs. People who are doing everything to hold on to their shelter. It's a damn disgrace. And I just don't want to be the one to contribute to the illusion of being happy or this being that wonderful place. You're better off living somewhere in a 1-room board house where you feel freedom and peace and not feel like a slave. So many people are dropping down in their workplace, trying to hold it together. And I don't want to use the D word, but never really getting to enjoy the things that they work for. People are coming out of retirement at 70. What kind of life is this? It is
70? Listen. At 70, that's the only time that persons could now say, hey, I retire and I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. Nigella is saying, listen, it's true what she is saying. Yeah, it's a real thing. A lot of persons are facing it and going through certain real rough situations, in the US, in Canada, England, other parts of the UK, when you gotta leave out from GT. You gotta pick up and you gotta find yourself in these other parts of the world. You gotta live the immigrant lifestyle, right? Nothing easy, Nothing easy. You might see the little benefits that come with it, but there's always a whole lot of implications. And that's just some of the implications that the sisters are highlighting right there, There's enough more, and there's enough other problems that persons are facing. But sometimes, we just keep it going. You gotta do your thing, you know what I mean? You gotta do your thing because you come with a plan, and you come with a focus, and you gotta execute. Bantu King is saying this. This is why we the people have to take back Guyana from the criminal PPP. I'm telling you, very, very important that we put the right persons in these positions of power, because when they're not, So many of us right now. Listen, Guyana got one of the highest rates of brain drain, one of the highest rates of migration. If we got one of the wealthiest nations, one of the fastest growing economy, we got this, we got that, we got all of these resources and everything is going on. The president is telling persons come back. They're saying they got a shortage of labor. How come most of the trained persons are running out to Guyana? How come a lot of persons that got the qualifications are leaving out of the country? And a lot of times they ain't coming back or coming back no time soon. It's because of what's actually going on the ground. Can persons feel safe in the country? Can persons really and truly raise their family and feel safe and not feel like if they'll be victimized because they might have another political perspective other than the persons that are in power, right? Is it a situation where persons can really see the benefit of working in Guyana? Are they really going to see some sort of income that they can be sustained by, they can sustain a family with? We are talking about one of the wealthiest nations in the world. What's the minimum wage like? What's the wages like? Can persons really earn a living in the country? If you come back and you're doing business, is your business safe? Because look what happened with Mr. Best. Look what happened with other persons as well that come back into the country. Right? There's so many things we got to analyze, you know. So many things we got to analyze. What's really going on with the rate of migration? Less than 1 million persons. Country got enough space, got enough potential, got enough opportunities. Could it be the persons that are in these positions of power that got the country looking and feeling how it's feeling? Real insightful conversations, you know. Call it in Delta 9 Media or drop it into the comment section. Big up to all the moderators that are in the live right now. Shalom, shalom to Carlisle, one of our frequent travelers. Insightful moderation is in the building. Big up yourself, Carlisle. Peace to you and yours, bro. Thanks for being a part of the live. Victor saying Canada is on the verge of becoming a refugee country. I'm telling you about it. Nigella is saying we are living paycheck to paycheck. That's a rough experience right there. Big up yourself, Carlisle. Big up to all the frequent travelers. Big up to everybody that dropped insightful commentary into the comment section. Everybody that took some time out to call in. Been a while since we rock out on one of these live presentations, right? We even got some international headlines coming in from Trinidad right now. Let me jump into some of these details right here on Wisdom Wednesdays with Delta 9 Media.
It's been an emotional 9 days since Angelo Tobias Plaza disappeared. We finally have some answers. Tell me, Hunters, how do you all feel about the situation, this latest development?
Well, we're very thankful that some information was shared to the police, which they are presently conduct investigation by the stepfather of Angelo. He gave the police some information that which they have been working with. So presently we have Coast Guard and other agencies. The active investigation are being going on by the relevant authorities. So let's hope and pray that we can get closure as soon as possible, so that and bring and because if you look at the villagers outside anxious want to know what happened, right? So let's hope and pray the information he shared with the police is accurate so that the family can get closure and the country at large.
We've seen the villagers really demanding answers and the nation as well. Do you feel a sense of relief right now today?
Persons in Trinidad demanding answers, right? In these most recent headlines, we're hearing that a young child again, unalived. And there's a lot of developments coming in on this story. We make sure that we're going to bring you all the updates on this particular headline that is developing right now in the Twin Island Republic. I'm telling you. June, thanks for being a part of the live. June is saying it's a trap if you don't have a timeline on when you want a peaceful life. It's a trap, I'm telling you. You gotta got timeline. You gotta got schedule. You gotta got plan, right? Greetings. You're on to Delta 9 Media Live. Big up yourself, King. What's going on?
How's your family, man?
Everybody's great, man. How you doing?
Yeah, man. Last time I showed him to you, man. All the time.
Yeah, we haven't been live for a couple of days, you know. Sometimes just gotta take a bit of intermission. What's going on?
Blessings up to your family. Blessings up to your audience.
Likewise, likewise.
Yeah, my brother, you know, he has been shooting for you guys, right, bro. Look at what you know in the country, bro. Look at what you know, bro. Look at the Jamaicans that still want money, bro. How much? $1 billion man was to get us another man getting money, bro. I see a lot of names to call and those people pretty, they just put it out here.
Yeah.
Man said it's the biggest corrupt country ever visited, bro.
Yeah, but still these persons are being placed in real positions of power. The same person, he don't call a particular person name, you understand me? But this person was still placed in this position of power in one of the most lucrative regions in our country.
Yeah, Region 4. In charge of Region 4, bro.
Yeah.
Look at where you are, bro.
Yeah.
What is it the U.S. ambassador is doing, man? What is it the High Commissioner is doing? What is it the Indian High Commissioner is doing? What are these people doing? What is the EU doing, bro?
Well, we've seen even persons. Well, we've seen a lot of persons from these international political structures is calling now for them to convene parliament as well, right?
We want to convene parliament. We're going on wrong, dumbest stifling more than parliament right now, bro. This revolution.
Yeah.
Revolution, anything you want to say, bro.
Real thing.
Yeah? Oh, look what's going on, bro. Yeah? And the place still in operation. Do everything. Look at the nightclub. Who are them people recently, them 4 years or 6 years. The nightclub gets shut down, bro. Now this man gets 48 national man still doing business, bro.
Yeah.
What are we doing, bro? And
it's
the
really
funny thing about that, bro, is that the president himself went up there and commissioned the place 3 years ago, bro.
Them man ain't got no respect for Ali.
It comes from immigration, it comes from everybody. Because you can't come in the country and you're coming for a 2-day, a 3-day, and bro, you're there for 3 years, and you were committed for 6 months, bro. Is you going on, bro?
Yeah. The man can't even get the documents and all kind of stupidness is listen.
And up to now, you're the president come out. You look at Nandala Shane was on the TNG by. The man come out to make a statement, but if we don't report it, how the country will roll. It is going to these people are not doing. We're going to do it all the RUs. The ministers that have to go, you know the RUs, bro. The ministers, them.
Yeah.
All of them just taking money and just sit down, bro. Huh?
Yeah.
You know, they're listening, bro.
Big up yourself.
What's really good? You have to face it. You have 5 more years from me. They are going down to nothing.
I tell
5
you.
more years from you.
Big up yourself. Thanks for calling in and dropping those insights with us. Yeah, Parsons highlighting it because people paying attention to what's going on, and it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time because a lot of persons are definitely waking up to what's the reality on the ground right now, you know? And it's a dark reality, I'm telling you. As we analyze some more of these international headlines, Nigella is saying, yes, that's true. As we analyze some more of these international headlines coming in from Trinidad.
Yes, share information that which so that it will not end up to all these days of 9 days get a lot of resources were spent outside community on the edge country want to know what's going on, but we must say thank God that at least he start to share some information with the authority that can help to bring this case into closure.
A whole lot going on. So many headlines and so many things for us to update one another with. I want to say big up to all the travelers that were a part of this live presentation. The flight has landed right here on Delta 9 Media. Big up to all the frequent travelers, all the moderators, everybody that took some time out to call in on the live. One Delta 9 Media, never two. Big up to everybody that makes this live presentation what it is, right? Big up to all of those that support independent media. Big up to everybody who takes time out to make sure you subscribe. It don't cost you nothing to subscribe, but it will keep you connected with every single thing trending in Guyana and in the diaspora. We make sure that we update one another with all these headlines right here on Delta 9 Media. So make sure you join the team. It don't cost you nothing to stay connected with every single thing that's trending in Guyana and in the diaspora. Right? Wisdom Wednesdays, and the flight has landed. Big up to Victor, June, Najilla, Carlisle. Let's talk. The Things was in the live as well. Big up yourself, King. Big up to the Bantu King. The Legal Alien Touchdown. Lied, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Flight. Big up yourself every time. One of the frequent travelers right there. Compton, thanks for tuning in. Melroy. Big up yourself. Thanks for dropping insights into the comment section. Big up to everybody that's going to catch this live in the rewind in the future. Make sure that you're subscribed so that you'll get a notification every time that we're live. One love, and I'll catch you in the next one. Hold on. We get somebody calling in right now. Let me see what's going on before we jump off of the live. Greetings, you're on to Delta 9 Media Live.
Good night, Delta 9.
Good night, good night. What's going on?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
To everybody, all Guyanese, in and out, all were going through difficulties. But I want to have an input based on doing research again.
Yeah.
If I want to ask a question to Guyanese people, if they're really serious, because I've been experienced to have an opportunity to live in more than one country.
Yeah.
And when one person gets injustice, we see such big impact come out from the whole nation that brings justice, right?
Yeah.
But there is no clarity to justice for some time from one thing to the other. But I want to say this. One man
based on research, is responsible for killing 220 persons, and nothing came out of it until today. So, in my expectation, do you feel one person or two persons getting shot in justice if justice would be served? Thank you very much, brother, for listening.
Big up yourself.
And
thanks for calling in. Same to you. And dropping those insights with us. I'm telling you, that's the $10 million question right there. Will justice ever be served? There's so many situations we got to ask that question about right there, but I'm telling you. One love to all the persons that took some time out to call in and to make this live presentation what it is. Big up to all the moderators. And remember, you are the ones that make this channel what it is. And if you're looking for an independent way to support Delta 9 Media, then definitely consider supporting the sponsors of the channel. Consider supporting those who advertise with us, and consider getting some of the channel merch from delta9media.com. Right? Big up to every single person. Thanks for being a part of the live, and I will catch you in the next one.
No matter where in the world, we love Guyana. What are your colors? How do you represent? I love Guyana. Order yours today. We ship worldwide. Delta 9 Media.
One love, one people, the mission complete. One love, one flag, one nation, right?